welcome on Learning with L&R, and today we are going to discuss about the new topic, that is acute glomerulonephritis. What is this? First of all, the introduction of this topic. Acute glomerulonephritis is a common disease in children, and it is one of the diseases that are presented commonly with hematuria, presence of blood in urine, and which means red urine, blood in urine. Acute glomerulonephritis in all probabilities results secondary to a preceding streptococcal beta hemolytic type 12 infection of throat or skin. A history of upper respiratory infections. The children suffering from acute glomerulonephritis, when we collect the history from the parents or family, they discuss about or mention about the upper respiratory infection. What is the meaning of this? Acute nephritis or glomerulonephritis is an infective renal disease characterized by sudden onset of hematuria, oliguria, edema, and hypertension. Hematuria, blood in urine; oliguria, less urine or absence of urine; edema, swelling; and hypertension, increased BP. Definition: acute glomerulonephritis is an immune-mediated inflammatory disease of the capillary loops in the renal glomeruli. The antigen-antibody complex depositions within the glomeruli results in glomerular injury, which is manifested as hematuria, oliguria, edema, and hypertension. First of all, we would like to know about the anatomy and physiology. The kidneys are paired. We all have a pair of kidneys. Reddish and bean-shaped organ is this, located in the peritoneum and the posterior wall of the abdomen. Right? The kidneys are located between the level of the last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae, a position where they are partially protected by the 11th and 12th pairs of ribs. The right kidney slightly lower than the left because the liver occupies considerable space on the right side superior to the kidney. Because on the right side there is a space occupied by the liver, that's why the right side is slightly lower than the left. The kidney, you can clearly see the healthy kidney and kidney with glomerulonephritis. Then you can see the parts of the kidneys: glomerulus, nephrons, efferent arterioles, secretion of protein in urine. When this condition happened, that known as glomerulonephritis. What is glomeruli? It filters of the kidney, which filters the blood and make urine. Functions of the kidney. There are lots of functions done by the kidney. Hemostasis function, excreting wastes and foreign substances, maintenance of water balance, maintenance of electrolyte balance, maintenance of acid-base balance. Hemopoietic function, endocrine function, regulation of blood pressure and regulation of blood calcium level. Then incidence. It is more common in male than females, most common in preschool and early school age children with a peak age of onset of 6 to 7 years, rare in children under 2 years of age, on average responsible for 2 to 4% of pediatric admissions in India. Accounts for about 90% of renal diseases in childhood, varies with the prevalence of nephrogenic strains of streptococci and the likelihood of cross-infection. Etiology, presumed cause, antigen-antibody reaction secondary to an infection in the body, and the initial infection, usually either an upper respiratory infection or a skin infection, usually 1 of 3 weeks before the onset of symptoms. In these respiratory or skin infection, one is present before 3 weeks of the exact symptoms. Most frequent causative agents are nephrogenic strains of group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis is the most common. Most cases are post-infectious and have been associated with pneumococcal, viral infection. Acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis is the most common of the post-infectious renal disease in childhood. Streptococcal pharyngitis is more common in the winter. Then, what are the symptoms or clinical manifestations? In case of urinary system, the output of the urine decreased, bloody or brown colored of urine, edema present in the edema present most in the patient, usually mild level, often manifested by periorbital edema in the morning, edema around the eyes. Periorbital edema may appear only as rapid weight gain, may be generalized or influenced by posture. Hypertension present in over 50% of patients, usually mild. Rise in blood pressure may be sudden, usually appears during the first 4 to 5 days of the illness. Malaise and mild headache, gastrointestinal disturbances, especially anorexia and vomiting, often with abdominal and lung pain, pallor, irritability, lethargy, dysuria, and fever. Investigations. How we know about the disease? History of illness and physical examination help in clinical diagnosis. The confirmation of diagnosis is done according to the following investigations. First one is urine examination. It shows increased specific gravity, smoke dirty brown color urine with reduced total amount in 24 hours. Mild to moderate or severe albuminuria is detected. Microscopic examination reveals presence of red cells, WBCs, pus cells, epithelial cells, and granular cast proteinuria 3+ to 4+. Then blood examination. Blood examination demonstrates increased level of urea, creatinine, ESR, ASO titer, and anti-DNase B. There is a decreased level of HB, serum complement, and albumin in blood. Hyponatremia and hyperkalemia may occur in persistent oliguria. Throat swab culture may show presence of beta hemolyticus streptococcus in some children. Chest X-ray, it may show pulmonary congestion. Therapeutic management. Acute glomerulonephritis with impaired renal function as severe oliguria and azotemia needs hospitalization for special attention. The patient with mild oliguria, they can manage at home on the OPD basis. Treatment is essentially symptomatic. Monitoring. What do we monitor? The patient should be monitored closely for the presence of hematuria, decreased urine output, sign of volume overload like edema, hypertension, and congestive cardiac failure. Daily record the general condition, edema, consciousness level, weight, heart rate, respiratory rate, blood culture, fluid intake, and urinary output. The kidney function test must be monitored at regular intervals. Bed rest, it is rarely indicated except during the acute phase when complications of acute renal failure may be present. Protect the child from fatigue and contact with other respiratory infections. Position. In congestive heart failure or hypertension, make the patient lie in a propped up position and provide oxygen to the patient. Diet. Diet should be arranged with restriction of protein, salt, and fluid intake till oliguria and increased blood urea level persist. Carbohydrate containing food to be allowed freely. The diet of the patient need not be restricted routinely. Fluid intake should be allowed in a calculated amount, and daily weight recording is important to assess the increase and decrease of edema. Fluid balance, regular measurement of vital signs, body weight, and intake and output is essential to monitor the disease's progress and detect complications that may appear at any time during the course of the disease. A record of daily weight is the most useful means to assess fluid balance and should be kept for children treated at home and for those who are hospitalized. Sodium and water retention is useful when the output is significantly reduced. In these children, the water allowed is equivalent to the calculated insensible loss plus the volume of urine excreted. Then diuretics are of limited value when severe renal failure is not severe. Diuretic therapy is helpful if significant edema and fluid overload are present. Children with AGN develop acute renal failure with oliguria that significantly alters the fluid and electrolyte balance. Fluid restriction is needed in case of acute renal failure when urine output is diminished. Then hypertension. Acute hypertension must be anticipated and identified early. Blood pressure measurements are taken every 4 to 6 hours. Significant but not severe hypertension is controlled with loop diuretics. Other antihypertensive drugs given to the patient. Dialysis may be required in patient with severe and prolonged oliguria or anuria and renal failure. Penicillins. Administrators of antibiotics, specifically penicillin, is needed for 7 to 10 days to eradicate streptococci in the throat or skin. Antihypertensive and diuretics given to the patient. Magnesium sulfate may be prescribed. Sedatives may be required in restless patients. Management of complications like congestive cardiac failure, hypertensive encephalopathy should be done promptly to prevent life-threatening outcome. Dopamine infusion, steroid therapy and respiratory support may require for some patient. Nursing diagnosis. Impaired urinary elimination related to glomerular dysfunction, infection related to group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, pharyngitis, upper respiratory infection, fluid volume excess related to altered renal function, activity intolerance related to edema, altered skin integrity related to edema, altered nutritional, less than body requirement related to albuminuria and GI disturbances, fear and anxiety related to disease processes, high risk for seizure activity related to hypertensive encephalopathy, knowledge deficit regarding care of the child with renal disease and continuation of care at home. Complication. Hypertensive encephalopathy manifested by restless, convulsions, vomiting, severe headache, visual disturbance, probably ischemia secondary to vasospasm, duration usually 1 to 2 weeks, and spontaneously with decreased blood pressure. Congestive heart failure, cardiac failure may occur due to persistent hypertension, hypervolemia and peripheral vasoconstriction. Manifestation: dyspnea, tachycardia, liver engorgement, duration variable according to the condition of the patient, usually subsides rapidly with the onset, the fall in blood pressure. Uremia, symptoms by evidence of acidosis, drowsiness, coma, muscular twitching, convulsions. Anemia usually caused by hyperolemia rather than a loss of red blood cells in the urine. Renal failure may occur with severe oliguria or anuria or increased blood pressure. It may occur in 2 phases. First phase. This stage of edema with oliguria may last for 5 to 10 days. Second phase. This stage of diuresis starts with the increased urine and decreased edema. I hope you have clear with this topic. Thank you very much.